Saludos mi gente, welcome to Candela Y Kavanah. It's Kavanah Angelique, and this is day 4 of 30 days. You know, I forgot one of the things I talk about when I'm teaching about it actually is never specific to one particular topic, because it can fall into the realm of family, of relationships, of spirituality, all of the things. But I often talk about the way one of the gifts that the Torah gives and that Judaism gives us is this idea of the earth-based practices, right? And one of the things behind that is that humans, we forget. We forget. We can get overwhelmed. We can get overstimulated. We can be moving in 1,000 different directions, and we will forget the essence of something. We will forget the point, the goal, if you will. Although I'm really trying not to use that productivity language. I think that motherfucker's a killer. Having said that, there is this way that you forget. I forgot. You can forget. In a world so noisy, the thing that'll really do it, the thing that'll really get you there. And this is coming from a conversation around, my work and like how I'm showing up now and what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, right? Like, having been someone who has experimented with, business frameworks and all of those things, I'm all about getting to a place of distillation with things. Like, I'm like, what's the basic essence? Yeah, no. I get that you could dress it up a million ways. Got that. We do that really well. But I'm curious about the essence, and the essence is never confining. The essence is never rigid, and the essence doesn't do stuck or stagnant. Essence is dynamic and has a way of moving through and permeating everything it touches. And I had forgotten the essence of it all to me. I had forgotten. It's really fascinating too. And I was talking about this the other night. I'm like, we have mezuzahs, we have all of these things. Each practice, each spiritual belief system has their things, right? That helps you either identify, or maybe not, maybe you're one of those folks who's not a big, the symbols don't do nothing for you. And that's great. But for me, I love all of the things because I understand now more than I did when I was younger that I need the support. And that I'm going to life by its natural course or recourse is it moves, and there's so much coming at us all the time. And I had forgotten, as I watch birds flitter to and fro in this backyard, I've forgotten that when it's all said and done, to me, I return to spirit. I return to the Most High. I return to faith, and I return to hope. And that in as far as I have seen in my human experience, the ancestors, the spirit realm, sees beyond what humans see. I've forgotten where my resource lies, and that this doesn't diminish or, minimize the need for, personal financial resource or things like that. Not at all. Include it all together. You forget with so much of the productivity. You forget with so much of the attempt at being in control. And it's a really amusing thing. I would venture to say that even the natural world that's watching us and the spiritual realms, I can only imagine how they must look at us as we're trying to be in control of rather than relationship with. And that inside of the idea of being controlled, like we swear tomorrow's coming. You know, you hear me say this a lot because I've been checked too many times. And at the same time, I still set an intention. You know, God willing, next month I'll fill in the blank. God willing, next week. God willing, tomorrow. God is willing, next year. And so this is really, you know, it's a catch-22 kind of thing, because you don't know. And also you don't want to be caught not being prepared in the ways that you can. So it's both and, right? But we live in a society that's cracked out on that shit. So much so you can't imagine functioning or doing a thing without some sort of protocol, or without some sort of, you know, you have to do something, which is fascinating to me, right? Like when I think about it, I'm like, that there's a lot of doing, very little being, and simultaneously people want to talk about faith and trust, and they want to talk about enoughness. There's nothing in any of the messaging that's saying that we are actually enough, because you're always telling me how I can improve. Sufficiency comes from the place of understanding that you are fully inhabited and complete, not missing or lacking anything, right? And that inside of that, you're in relationship with everything. So if that's the case, we're like peacocks. No disrespect to peacocks. I was with some last month, and that was just fascinating, or the month before. Now that it's June 1st. I'm fascinated. I'm in awe. I'm in awe of my own forgetting. But my goddess, do I love the remembering. The remembering of where my help comes from. The remembering of being able to learn, grow, and integrate from the lessons. A dear friend who's just come into my universe asked me about what were my goals with the podcast and things like that. And they're wonderful questions, valid questions. And I'm like, you know, here's my thing anymore. After taking in a dose of the efficient, the effective, the client avatar, the marketing thing, the this, the that, and the other, the demographics, the market research, the cost compare and analysis, whatever. Oh my God, the endless fuckery. I've arrived at nothing. I mean nothing under the face of the sun. Nothing will be as sacred, as holy, as pure, as potent, as effective, as efficient, as effectual as the essence of your being and your trust. Your broken, a million pieces trust. Nothing in the universe is like it. Nothing. Nothing is like hope, and nothing is like faith. Nothing. I sit in, and as I reflect on all the ways, and listen, I'm a frameworks person. I enjoy them. I think they're very sexy. I think that containers are really valid. I think all of those things. I also think that the world is full of a lot of fucking noise. And that if the only way to actually enjoy this inhabitation while sharing my gifts, my skill sets, all of the things with you and the people I love, that thing right there, if it can only thrive and be successful, fill in the blank, whatever successful means. It's such a poor word. Successful, listen, right now, I want to explain the amount of success I have. I'm sitting in a backyard, staring at some sage, some rosemary, and potential tomatoes. The sun is gorgeous as ever. Just a sexy bitch up in the sky. Just giving, just giving by its sheer existence can kill us in a second, but yet enough of a distance to give us exactly what we need so that these trees can sing. The birds are having their conversations. The grass is just gently moving. The honeybees are buzzing, getting what they need. This moment is holy and sacred, and I'm forever grateful for this moment. Yesterday was different. Tomorrow I'm unsure and hope that it only gets better. Better as in more fully present, better as in more fully expressed, better as in more fully resourced. And yet, right now, as I sit here and am made love to by the sun, this moment is sacred. And so as I think about what it means to rebuild my platform or rebuild the container, the temple that holds the energies that move through my life and that I pray and hope are a gift and our blessing, even when I'm gone, I consider the fact that I nearly lost my mind in all the other ways, and I understand what I was looking for when I was curious of. I have it now. I don't diminish that. I mean, we pay taxes, we pay rent, we pay things here, and so I'm not like, oh, no money, no plans, no, nothing. Nope, not what I'm saying. I don't want the extremes. I want the integration of a dance. I just fucking... And even integration, I could throw that fucking word out. At this point, it just drives me crazy. But it's what we got. The closest thing we have to naming the interconnection and interwovenness of it all. I have the tools. But how the tools shape what I create is up to me and not the tools. I am at a place where I refuse the tactics of a system that is eating itself from the inside out, robbing people, and on top of robbing people, experiences and lives by a hierarchy of domination, extraction, and colonizing. So what does that mean? I mean, just lots of fucking words there. But what I mean by that is that these ideas that we've attached to around, oh, I'm gonna charge for my value. I'm gonna create this thing. I need to make sure. This is me being responsible, is me freaking out and falling apart and having a nervous breakdown over provision. I've experienced a lot of challenges, especially in relationship to being exhausted and being burnt out, and how I'm perceived as a result of my inability to strong arm myself into anything, and simultaneously have experienced isolation and almost like a kryptonite if there has been an abundance of resource, right? Where you're able to understand that we become so mindful of energy that we become actually much more contracted because we continue to see it all as a finite thing. And I get that. And having had these experiences inside of these relationships, is where we begin to forget what our source is, who our source is, whatever that looks like for you. I think that bird agrees that at the end of the day, when we're looking at the totality of the picture, there's the wisdom of setting the reminders before us for a reason. What do you need to be reminded of? I'm remembering that before I tried to create a business, it was a calling. Before I tried to create fill in the blank, it was a natural outpouring. I didn't have to do more. I didn't have to fix, adjust, contort myself, position myself. I didn't have to do any of that. I just had to be and show up for the thing that I'm passionate about and that I've been in love with, and be open for it going wherever it needs to go, to whomever it needs to go. So who's my avatar? Who are the clients? Who are the people? Whatever. I have no idea. Whoever makes it across my path, in the time that they make it, in the moment that is divine and assigned, and some people stay, some people go. And I'm okay with that. As experienced by the current political climate, job security is at an all-time, there never was any. There isn't. There's just hopes of, but you don't know. So these ideas that have often plagued us around responsibility, especially our generation, Gen Xers, I'm all about it, the ability to respond, and I'm all about contextualizing myself. And I also know that I'm still alive today, not because of the structure of the system, but because of the faith and the hope. The one I had, the one my mother had, the one my grandmother had. Faith and hope in each other's humanity and each other's love, and the love relationship that we had with, or have with, the Most High, however that looks, the ancestors, the natural world. Like that's where those are the bones. So I got lost, and I am finding my way back to the sound of my own song and to the truths that I know to be the anchor of my soul, to the desire that I began with. I wanted to share my poetry. I wanted to share my truth and my experience. I wanted to just help the world feel a little less alone, whoever the world is. I wanted wisdom to be accessible and support to be accessible as an act of love and devotion to my community, to my neighbors, to my children, to my children's children. That I believe in family, chosen, and blood. I believe in growth. I believe in magic. I believe in every possibility in relationship with every fucking horror that I've experienced and that others experience. All of it. And I don't want to move any other way. And I'm grateful for all the tools that helped me get here and that continue to support me. I'm thankful for the Torah. In spite of the fuckery in the world, there's a beauty in this old book among many texts. So, there's no special here. Among many texts, many spiritual texts for many different folks, those written and unwritten. I think there's just an enormous amount of possibility inside of that. I am so in love with community and family and generosity, and will no longer desire to operate on some fucked up value system that continues to stake me against my neighbor, so that it looks like I'm doing all the right things, they're doing all of the wrong things, and this is why there's lack. Nope. No interest. No interest in those tropes. No interest in the business trope. None of it. Nope. It can all go be useful somewhere else. I've done my homework. I've done my research as a good in quantum human design. In human design, I'm a heretic and an investigator. In quantum human design, I'm a visionary leader and a researcher. And I've done my research. I've done my homework. I've done my work around trying to understand business and trying to understand sharing and messaging and what people have to call marketing. Trying to understand what it means to create a soulful business and do it from a place of equity, of redefining access and redefining what it all means to engage with customers, or whatever you want to call it. To me, it's community, point blank and simple. I did my homework and I found those systems wanting and to be built from a very hyper-independent ideology that I don't subscribe to. Wasn't built or born for that shit. Have no desire. And so I wanted to share this with you because I think that it is really important to be in listening with yourself for the things that you know to be true. I know that there is never, ever going to be on the face of this earth a reason for me to look away from somebody's pain or for me to look away from somebody's struggle, no matter where I'm located at or what's happening. There's no way and no reason for me to hinge my value as a human being on a dollar sign. Ugh. The thing that makes me worthy, more language that is so problematic, that makes me worthy is the fact that I breathe and I'm a unique spark of the divine and the alchemy of things. For some, I'm a blessing. For others, I'm a questionable who knows what, and I'm okay with that. And so I hope that if you're building something, I hope that if you're moving in a particular way, I hope that if you see yourself from the lens of constantly lacking, you're missing the most important component, no matter what we're talking about. You. All of the digging is for you. What are your values? What is important to you? What are your skills? What are your gifts? Are you an IFNJ, a JKLMNOP? Are you a time bender? Are you a projector? Are you an orchestrator? What are you? What are Aquarius? What are you? All of the things, what are you? And in all of that, if we lose sight of ourselves, we've missed the point. You missed the point. You could take all the trainings you want. You could do all the shit you want. You could employ all the things you want, and you're going to get to the place where you have to constantly check to make sure you're not losing the most important aspect. And that's the reason why you started, your why, your soul, the essence of your being. And that everything you touch is infused with that. So if you have distance from that, if you have been contorting to be something else because you think that thing will give you the access you need or provide the resource you need, it's not true. Now, granted, I might not be the best example of this that I'm saying right here now because I lost my way and I'm finding my way back. And it's required of me to shut down so many ideas coming from the outside and so many pre-programmed ideas on the inside. And it's really because I have questions. I had questions. You have questions. And we try to find the answers because it's not possible that the answer would come from within. Well, a little heads up. The thing that we're building for people to be free to live into next, all those rights you're fighting for, all that rah-rah stuff, Who's building it? Who's creating the businesses that have equitable schedules? Who's creating the education hubs for learning to happen in so many different ways without it being a cost that is unsustainable for most people who stay in debt for a really long time, for a job that who knows if it will or won't be here. And even if yours will be particularly useful, your learning curves will be evolutionized at every step, especially with how quick things are moving and how much is changing, how much is coming down and being built up. Who's doing that? Who's building that world to ensure that it's different than this last one? So here's what I want to tell you. I want to tell you that I'm building something different. And the how I'm building it, just being in the listening, employing the tools that help me express the listening, being available to do some more listening. If at any point in time you feel that you would like to step into a container with me, and access is an issue, resources an issue, please email me. We can barter, we can find something. Not because I think you need to have skin in the game, which is the stupidest shit in the fucking world. I do not see you as some sort of irresponsible nincompoop who doesn't know how to handle their business and who needs to be taught how to give in order to receive. You could go float somebody else with that shit. We're not doing that here. If financial resource is a challenge, hit me up. Let me know. I'm here to support you. I'm here to support myself as well. Right? I don't think you need to prove anything. I think that sometimes some people just need the support. How do I know that? Ask me. I'll tell you. So many stories. So many lived experience stories, right? Like that thing. So I'm building different because I'm building for the world that I want to live in. Even if we are not there yet, it's on its way. And because it's on its way, I want to move differently and according to that world. And I want to also be inhabiting all the dimensions that I live in. So, no escapism here, no bypassing here, no transcendence here, no white supremacist, capitalistic, colonial-minded, extractionist, extortionist, all of this shit, hierarchical, dominant energy. Not here. Here we are sure about the ground underneath our own feet. And we don't need somebody's shoulders to stand on that. And looking beside, looking before, looking behind to support those who happen to fall upon the path. I'm one of many people showing up in beautiful ways to support each other. So I pray that this has been good for you. It's been wonderful for me. I'm getting some much needed sun on my face. Goddess knows it is torturous as a light-skinned Puerto Rican not to get enough sun. Torturous. Because we just look pale as shit. And I feel much better when my skin is kissed by the sun. So thank you for your listening ear. Thank you for your love. I hope that in any case, what you remember is that you, the essence of you, not the performing you, not the you that has to put on a mask in that particular context, whatever the thing is. Not those things, not the things you do to get through and move on and grow on. But you, the you, that when you look in the mirror in the morning, that you matter so much and are so precious. And you are worth every bit, without all the doing, you are worth every bit of support, of resource. And without you and that essence of you, the funny person, the very thoughtful person, the compassionate, the considerate, the light to be with person. All of those things. That's it. That's what we're here for. You are the once in a lifetime. And it's an honor that you're here listening to me. So, we shall move onward in this ecosystem, the one that I'm responsible for. And I will continue to show up and share up. And yeah, I think I'm due for a reintroduction on social media. It's been a while since I've done that. Anyway, social media is such a universe, one among many. But, you know, I'm excited about it all. And I'm glad to have remembered. I'm glad. Because the day before yesterday, I was so, maybe 2 days before that, so stressed out, so worried about everything and how hard things feel. And I think to myself that people have died like that. And who knew? Who knows? Because behind that, we've shamed ourselves into that. I don't see it necessary anymore. And therefore, there's an opportunity to do something different, to enjoy and savor, to anchor in and be unbothered and yet totally present, unbothered but not checked out, unbothered and interdependent, unbothered and anchored, unbothered and bothered. We have enough capacity for it all. So I love you and I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, mi gente. Adios.